How's it everyone, this is Lockahole, and in today's video we're going to be making a nice pair of boots. Once again, it's going to be for the LE hit Deadeye. However, this is a fairly generic craft that you can use for many different builds. So for me, on my build, I want strength, chaos resistance, and then hopefully another resistance as suffixes, and then of course movement speed and life. And I've chosen this enchant. A lot of attack-based builds, or even, I guess, caster builds, want this enchant. Damage penetrates 10% of enemy elemental resistances. If you haven't killed recently, good for bossing, less good for mapping. If you wanted more of a mapper enchant, you can get the attack and cast speed if you have killed recently. However, my map speed's fine. So, to get started, I guess I have some of these lying around from one of the other videos. Let's see if we can get some high quality. 27%, that's fine. Again, a really disgusting number, but I'll accept it. Now, for the suffixes, what we're looking for is strength. We're looking for chaos resistance. Actually, we're going to start off with the chaos res ones and then some kind of other resistance. So maybe let's just go strength for now. And we're just going to hit this with our little deafening, well, shrieking essences of envy. This is going to guarantee 26 to 30 chaos resistance, which is about tier 2. I didn't go for the higher tier one. It was a lot more expensive, and tier 2 is fine. Wow. Those are some good suffixes. Those are some very good suffixes. However, the problem is if I put these on, everything falls off. Well, actually, I need 155 strength for petrified blood. Oh boy. So we do need a bit more strength. I know it seems nuts to roll past this. It's not actually worth as much as you might think. I really need to get a Progenesis flask, but they're very expensive. That will free up some of the requirements on our strength, but yep, let's roll past it. Ugh. It's gross. I know. There we have tier 7 strength. Don't want that. Tier 5 strength of the gorilla. Whoa! Okay, alright, well, our suffixes are done. We have tier 2 strength, tier 1 fire res, tier 2 chaos res, perfect. It's done. This might be such a quick craft that we're going to have to do a second craft. Wonder what it's going to be. Maybe a little belt? But to finish this off, it's going to be very easy. So what we're going to do, we're going to spend 2 chaos orbs. We're going to go, suffixes cannot be changed. Like that. And then we're going to hit this with a veiled chaos. This is going to re-roll our prefixes and add a veiled modifier. We're hoping it doesn't fill up. It didn't. So we have our veiled prefix. Now before we unveil, what we want to do is we're going to block mana. This is the best mod to block before you unveil, because now we cannot unveil mana from Jun. Now with Jun, I've never not unveiled movement speed. Some people say it's a 99% chance, but I've never not done it. So I'm inclined to say it's 100%. And here we go. Oh, movement speed, chance to avoid being chilled. It's actually really good. The onslaught one, probably better on most attack-based builds, but I actually like this because I have onslaught on my bow. So chance to avoid being chilled is great. Very great. Now for the final thing, all we need to do, bench on some life. And then we can get to the implicits. 69 life. Not quite. I want to get this guy to 70. There we go. And then we can slam it for good measure. Ugh. Bit more armor and evasion. Alright, perfect. Now let's do these implicits. So the main thing we want is action speed. So we go action speed. Nothing else really matters. 4% action speed. So, okay. I guess let's try to get that a higher tier. Let's get that a higher tier. So again, if you don't know how these things work, Orb of Conflict, it's going to raise the tier of one mod, it's going to lower the tier of the other mod, but it's going to give preference to the lower tier mods. So if we use a higher tier blue and we have a lower tier red, there's a higher chance the red goes up. And in this case, we do want red to go up. We click it, it goes up to 5%. Now we can actually do the same thing, but before we do that, we want to apply a grand again. And then we're going to try and maybe get this 6%. It did not go up to 6%. Oh wait, it did. It did actually, but it stayed at 5. So I think there's a breakpoint where we need to get that up another tier. But that's fine. For now, we'll leave it. As for the blue, there's actually nothing really that is that good. I checked it out. On a lot of builds, things like chance to avoid elemental ailments, that is really good. But I think in this case, we're going to go chance to avoid Chance to avoid bleeding is okay. Maybe cooldown recovery rate of skills? Not that one. Regen life per endurance charge is actually nice for me because I have 3, so that's 0.6 life regen. Is it good enough though? Nah, let's see what else we can get. Fizz extra fire doesn't really work for us. Life regenerate, chance to avoid being poisoned. These are just the lower tier ones, so we're not really spending a whole lot here. Chance to avoid elemental ailments. I mean, on this build, we have ailment immunity pretty much from Master Alchemist, so that's weirdly useless for us. On a lot of builds, that'd be a great hit, but let's see. Let's just use a few more and see what we get. Endurance charge. Alright, I think avoid elemental ailments. Let's just stick with that for now, because, well, there's not anything really a whole lot better. So let's pop on our new boot, and then we'll get to crafting the belt. But let's see. Alright. What the heck? There we go. That took way too many. And we link it up. These are curse boots that do not want to be linked. Okay. Should have just used a crafting bench. Then we're going to go red, red, green, green. Alright, we pop these on. None of our gear falls off. And there we go. Beautiful. Our chaos resistance is now 52%. However, our lightning resistance is a little bit low. So what we can do is go over to our Hoarder crafting station and go fire. Our sockets are full. So we're going to change this from fire resistance to lightning resistance. Fire to lightning. Change a modifier that grants fire resistance to a similar tier that grants lightning resistance. We will do that. Thank you, game. There we go. Now we have lightning resistance on these guys. Let's pop them on. Now we can see the improvement to the build. Look at that. Beautiful. 52 chaos resistance, and the rest of our resistances, they're not quite capped, but that's okay because, well, with all of our flasks up, they will be like that. So I think now it's time to hop onto Mr. Belt, because that was a very quick craft. So let's see what we can do with this. Alright, so let's get this belt done. We have an I-86 Stygian Vise. This is a 10 chaos base. Actually, seems like you can get it for 4 chaos. Pretty cheap. But before we get started, we're going to apply these prismatic catalysts. These are going to improve the quality of resistance modifier on rings, amulets, belts. So what we want to do is we want the belt to be white first. That's going to apply 5% quality. If it was magic, it would apply 2. If it was rare, it would apply 1. These things cost 10 chaos each, so you want to make sure you do this. Otherwise, you're going to be spending 200 chaos instead of merely 40. So let's get started. What we want on our belt is strength, a resistance, and then also chaos resistance. So this is our current belt. It's actually very good, but the problem is it's not a Stygian Vise, so we're losing a whole jewel socket. If we pop this off, you can see our chaos res goes negative and our lightning res goes negative. So actually, yeah, and also we can't use our petrified blood, by the way. Another reason I want a Progenesis, we will get one at some point soon, but let's get started. We're just going to use these Essence of Envy. This is going to guarantee chaos resistance similar to the boots. And then we're looking for strength. By the way, strength is the only natural attribute that can roll on belts. So if you ever want to do an Omniscience belt and you're wondering why can't I get Dex or Int? Because you can't get it on a belt. So also, I just want to look at some flask effect things. Earlier I made a belt by mistake that sold for 16 divines. Flask applied have increased effects. There is tier, so tier 1 strength, really nice, but we don't need that higher tier. Strength, we don't have a second resistance. We do also want life. There's tier 1 life and strength, and so this guy, we want to hit this with an annul. So we have this open suffix. Well, we don't have an open suffix, but we want it. We want to annul off that, regenerate life. Oh, wait, we still have another chance. We did it. We did it. All right. And then we are going to bench on, I think we want, let's pop this guy off. We want lightning lightning and chaos resistance. So lightning and chaos resistance. And 18%, just like that. Cool. That is kind of, I know that was weirdly quick, but it's pretty much done. However, what we can do is we can get a couple of exalts and slam it and see what happens. By the way, side note, if you've been watching this long in the video, congratulations. Here's a super secret tip. This is a really good profit craft. What you do, you get yourself an I-86 Stygian Vise, you scour it, you apply on 4 prismatic catalysts, and then you get Shrieking Essence of Envy. You can also use one of the other resistance ones, like an Essence of Wrath, Hatred, or the other one, Anger. You just use these, you keep spamming that belt till it has lots of resistances and decent life, and it should sell. I've made so much currency in previous leagues doing this, so I figured let me just share it for people who are still watching at this point. But let's grab ourselves some exalts and then slam this. Maybe we can hit some elemental damage with attack skills. If we do, we're winning. But what we can also do, actually, you know what? What we should actually do instead, I have a better idea. Let's grab ourselves a Hunter Exalt and see what we can do. Well, this was very expensive. These cost 1.6 divines. Oh, I wouldn't have done it if I weren't recording, but there are some modifiers we can hit that are great. The one we want to hit is % max life. I don't know what the chance is, but let's try. Increased chaos damage. That was worth almost 2 divines. Alright, and then I guess we can try slam on some Wed. I kind of preferred it before. Well, here is our new belt. Glorious. At least it has an abyssal socket. We can pop on that. We can do this. We have lots of strength. And our resistances are great. I know this lightning resistance looks very cringe. But like I've said, if you've been following the builds, we have very, very high uptime on our flasks. So I'm not too stressed about that. But it would be good to get it a bit more capped. So what I think I'll do, just for the dual socket, is get in some lightning resistance and fire resistance or something like that just to top it off. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I think that's going to be it for the crafting series for this version of the builds. Later on we might do an Omni version of the build, but let me know what kind of crafts you want to see next. Maybe there's something a lot of people want to see and we can do that. So have a wonderful day everyone. Stay safe. Catch you in the next video. Bye bye.
Launching Exile. You're making me nervous.